Good morning, YouTube. This is Harp. I came to first say thank you to the healthcare providers and essential workers out there that's working in the COVID-19 atmosphere where we're experiencing a pandemic in our society and in the global diaspora. Well, thank you guys. You're not taking lightly, and I know that those things that you're out there doing are needed in exchanging, first healthcare especially. And people are out there working in the essential spaces where we also need to exchange and we appreciate it. Now, let me get down to the nitty gritty. I just want to share that I've been out, and I go real quick to get things that I need for my home as I quarantine um, with my family. However, I'm noticing people not following proper procedure and proper protocol. You guys, a lot of people seemingly to be carrying on as though they're normal. You're not practicing hygiene, you're not wearing gloves, you're not using masks. And if you do an assessment, from my assessment, which is not a big assessment, I've looked at other countries and understood that a lot of them got the curve down by following procedure and even being under martial law. Whereas though everybody has to anchor down, everybody has to obey and wear your mask because you're spreading something you don't know you have, or you're making yourself vulnerable to that which is out there. And you want to be so in natural benevolent. You want to be yourself. You don't want to do it. Just stay away from people. Oh, it's not that important. As long as I stay away from people, I don't like wearing a mask. I can't breathe that much. God want me. God don't want me. I'm not gonna die anyway. People got all kind of, supernatural ideas about things, but where you have to take knowledge. Knowledge is power, and you have to use knowledge. You cannot just go with that. You know, you have to understand that if you go somewhere, you need to wash your hands somewhere. You need to take a break when you're at a job. You can't constantly work your body because you may fall. These are the natural things, the natural effect, and the natural course of things being safe. And it does curve down. If my son or anybody in my family catch a cold or anything, and I use Lysol, 9 times out of 10 I'm not gonna catch it, and it's worked that way. But if I don't, 9 times out of 10 I am, even if it's the flu. So I don't see why you think, guys out there, I don't see why you think you could just walk around Walmart without a mask on and without gloves and going close to people and everything and expecting to be okay. That's a little bit insane. I mean, you got the news media, you got overseers, government, scientists, doctors are telling you this is real. Now, my mother works in the ER, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, but she works in the ER, and I just heard a case yesterday. Now, I hear stories that are hard to hear from her even, and I have to gather myself because there's people who went to the ER, didn't even live an hour with COVID-19. I hate to say that. And the last person that I know of was a 43-year-old guy that couldn't breathe. So, what I'm saying to you is it's better to be safe than sorry. And you're causing harm by not following proper protocol for someone else. You are a detriment. You are in incompetence, and you are a liability because other people can now be in trouble because you didn't use your proper procedure. You didn't follow guidelines because now you got other people in trouble. So to every one person not following guidelines, you don't know how many other people you're affecting, including yourself. I saw a brother yesterday when I went out to the store and to the gas station, sitting on the curve, and I had gloves, and I said, "Brother, would you like some gloves?" And he said, "No, I'm fine. I'm okay, bro." And he was on the city transit. He didn't have a mask and he didn't have any gloves on, but he was taking the city transit. This a problem, especially in this environment. No one says that you have to live this way. This is new life for you. But during this time, what's wrong with following procedure? If you go into an event whatever type of event it is. If it's a wedding, you have to go as a wedding person. You know, you have to go to events according to what the event is. And this time, you have to follow procedure according to what it is. Not to say you got to live this way now. This is new life for you again, but at least obey in this time so that you can protect yourself and then other people. It doesn't make any sense. It don't make any sense. So it's no real um, logic, actually, especially if you out there using the public transportation and you're going inside of public businesses and establishments like Walmart. Why would you go in Walmart bare-handed when you being told all day through the news media that it's unsafe and highly unsafe? That doesn't make any sense. And this is why the numbers are scouting up, because people are being free and not cautious. They're just being, aimless. And in their minds, you can't be careful only in your mind. You have to put it to action. And that's why I'm doing this talk this morning. So therefore, I don't know who may get this, but when you out there, guys, be safe. And I always talk to black people because, we have to have a self-preservation, but I'm talking to everybody. And black people especially. Be safe, put your stuff on and try not to be going places. If you can do it, try to stock up on things so therefore you can help, because you may have a grandparent or aunt or a father or anybody that you may affect. And you can't go to other people's house, even in your family, if you're negligent and you want to go and visit your cousin or someone. You're not being safe. So now it looks like what we're going to have to do is start locking the door on you guys. And that's what I've been doing. Closing the shades, saying we're not here. Do not practice social distancing. You're incompetent. And now this is entailing. And one thing I want to speak to, what I noticed, is that everybody who was playing games out there before this came about, before we learned that we had this situation, living with people, arguing with people, using people, lying to people, spending the night at someone else's house 2 nights and then coming back saying you're sorry, being narcissist, whatever going on, this is entailing now. You got to travel and do that same game under this pandemic. So you didn't practice behaving socially inside your marriage or your relationship or with your family unit or roommates. And now it's telling that you've been childish all this time, and now you're around here like a child, running back and forth because you don't have no true anchor. You don't have your own place. You're not acting right in people's houses. So now you are vulnerable. You're vulnerable now to an exposure because you never choose to get serious with anybody. That's another thing that I noticed with people, especially young people who play games and don't want to help on bills, different things like that. And now you don't have no really true anchor down. I know 2 people right now who didn't ever have a job as young people. Now they're working for Walmart because they're afraid that no one's going to help them. So they're out working, which is a good thing. But it is also peculiar that you didn't have a job for the last 2 years, but now you're working because you know it's something serious going on. And so you're out there working among it. I'm telling you, it's very peculiar. But anyway, I want you guys now to take heed to being careful, being precise, social distancing, use your gloves so we can get back to the get up and everybody can be safe, because it's definitely real and we need to be careful. Stop going in stores, around the store without any protection, and around people without any protection, expect to be safe, and then expect you to keep your family safe when you return to them. And thank you for joining me.